hyping right now. Good sisters. Bro, we gotta get your guys' energy levels up. What is going on? Like that, dude, for real. I mean, bro, Dr. Luke wrote California Dreams. Or California Girl, whatever the fuck, for Katy Perry. What the fuck? Bro, why are all these talented people who write all these bangers so fucked up? For sure. I'm gonna make the emo song of the
Glitter,
summer.
parties, and electronic music. Nobody has
hate
ever
Mondays.
encapsulated these three aesthetics quite like today's deep dive
Umi, who's gonna carry the boats and the logs then?
subject. The 2010 grunge pop
Bodies
party
in
princess
pain.
herself,
Good.
Kesha.
Now,
It should
just to make
be.
it clear before we start, this video isn't about Kesha the activist, who bravely shared her story in 2014.
I love lasagna.
No. This is about
Dude,
everything.
I'm gonna carry
leading-
that. I know you're not. I know you're not. Trust me, I know. Okay, then, but might be dragging. Hope your pillow is warm tonight. Listen, bro, if your body's not in pain, if you're not tired, if you don't have a million things to do, where you gotta put it on, you gotta add more to the list tomorrow, you're not doing enough. You know what I mean? What does that mean? Bro, you gotta work hard. You get one life. You get one life. You gotta get the most out of it. Every second of every day is beautiful. You gotta wake up with a good attitude. You gotta wake up, be positive, productive, execute. You had a good workout today.
Up to that.
We're diving deeper than we ever have before.
Because me and Shelby are actually starting at Kesha's dramatic conception,
Her subsequent birth at a
It's
house
Pride
party,
Month.
followed
We gotta-
by her
we gotta-
truly traumatic
make 'em proud.
childhood, growing up with
I woke up at 5 a.m. today. That's good. That's pretty good, I guess. 5 a.m. It's very nice.
an addicted mother.
Now, who would be the
Oh,
ones
this
to
trend
rip out
boy.
of impoverished obscurity? Two of the biggest producers the music industry has ever seen.
You'll learn this, chat. You'll learn this.
Max Martin and Dr. Luke would call a 17-year-old Kesha up and convince her to drop out of high school.
Bro, honestly, it wouldn't have took a lot to convince me to drop out of high school. I fucking hated high school.
To become a superstar, but at what cost?
Kesha would
Probably.
be stripped of her personal, unique, individual style and
Fucking bird feed my monster to you.
given an entirely new persona. Record labels, A&R executives, and even Dr. Luke himself would build her new party girl pop star image from the ground up, truly
Sad about
dousing the
that.
early 2010s in alcohol and glitter.
I hated high
This
school.
would sell
Bro.
millions and millions of records
Mama bird, daddy
and
bird.
cause a digital revolution for pop music. Now in a Shelby search bar sidebar special, I'm going to be diving into that horrible night in a hotel suite, the subsequent lawsuit between
It was a
Kesha and
queen of
Dr. Luke
glitter.
and her former management company, and
Bro, chat, you guys are the new queens of glitter. Listen. This is our 2020, what is it? What year is this? 2025? This is our year, chat, of being iconic, of doing crazy things, traveling, popping the fuck off, and changing our lives. You know what I mean? This year, I promise, will define the rest of our life. I'm a daddy bird to stick around. I'm the one that did, okay?
just how Kesha would have her career dangled in front of her, all before TikTok was even released. Kesha would be forced to make a decision that would explode her onto the scene, but would also contractually bind
Break the
her to the
cycle. I
very
am the
man
cycle.
she accused that night in 2005 on the 12th floor of the Mondrian Hotel.
He came back. I came back with the logs! Which is weird. Chat, listen. We're traveling, shows, partying, travels, iconic pictures, iconic YouTube videos, content. Listen, bro. One day they're gonna write stories about us. There's gonna be a video about us, the cult. We're gonna change history. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Now, there's
Iconic
even more than
threads.
that, but we're gonna save it for the video. It's 2010.
Bro,
Now,
is that fucking Benny Blanco again? God damn it, bro. You don't know me, son. We can't escape this fugly fuck, bro.
there's even more than that, but we're gonna save it for the video. It's 2010, bitch, so grab your Converse.
And you're
Like, he's fucking ever. He was in the Britney video. He was in the Katy Perry video. He was in this one. chopped, bro. And all this shit, all this fucked up shit happened back in the day. All these producers were doing all these terrible things to girls and actresses and this. You can't tell me Benny Blanco ain't got some dirt. He's everywhere. In that deep dive, for real. Caitlin McCall, what's up, girl?
Her favorite party dress.
Hop in our limousine
And let's get the bottles
does.
popping.
because we're about to deep dive
Leave our
into
girl
the
Selena
untold
alone.
and truly dark world of the Queen of 2000.
Bro, he helped write Baby for Justin Bieber. And that's like, baby, baby, baby. Oh, he was like 13. Justin Bieber was like 13 when he performed that. And then later on, he goes on to date Selena. Is that not weird?
9. Kesha.
Been through too fucking much. Sus.
To start this tale through the world of electropop stardom, we have to first dive deep into some very dark country roots. So hop in the deep dive time machine with Shelby and I back to the 1970s, where Kesha's mother and
shit.
self-proclaimed hippie Rosemary Sebert, otherwise known as PB, was getting her footing in the music industry, alongside her husband at the time, Hugh Moffat. Now, PB and Hugh would write
Hugh
the
Moffat?
classic song Old Flames Can't Hold a Candle to You. Johnny Cash would pick up the song and record it a few years before
Johnny
his
S.
tragic passing. This song would make it huge.
Johnny Cash is the Tennessee guy, right? Nashville King. He Moffat. That's what I said, dog.
When Dolly Parton would cover it 2 years later.
A couple
I
of
just say.
years later, Dolly Parton heard it, recorded it.
Just
It was a
say.
#1 record.
And make Old Flames Can't Hold a Candle to You a huge hit.
Y'all know what happened. She's gonna be drooling on her keyboard. Sis, wake up. Wake up. Listen, break out of the matrix. Society is telling you you're tired. That's not being tired. That's them trying to steal your life away, steal time and memories that you can be alive and doing things. One day we're all gonna die, chat. One day we're all gonna be old and in a rocking chair, shitting on our diapers. You gotta enjoy now. You gotta enjoy every second. When you feel tired, that's your body. That's not your body telling you to sleep. That's the government telling you to sleep. Fuck the government. Rise up, chat.
Major record labels took note of this and signed PB Sebert to
Doing
be the
that now.
next
Personally, I use diapers to save time.
huge star in music.
Your mom was a singer. She wrote like country music.
Yeah, my mom was in a punk band, and then she started writing country music for like
The
Johnny
last
Cash and Dolly
bit.
Parton. And so I've just been around it. And then
Sigma edits.
I realized,
Speaking of edits, have we got any progress on that project, Ken and Ali? I'm just asking because he texted me about it in the day.
kind of all I can do. So I'm
Right.
really happy.
Well, let's
It's
cut the
That's
kind
government
of
out.
working out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when your
Have
mom
sex
used to
with the
perform,
government.
then they said that she put you like in a guitar case.
Yeah, one of my first memories was her
Forgot.
like singing, and I
That's
was
okay,
like,
I was
looking
just
at her,
asking.
and she told me I was in a guitar case, like kicking it.
Over the next 3 years, PB and Hugh would welcome their first child into the world, Lagan Sebert.
A
While
child.
Lagan was a newborn, PB would write and record her debut album.
Take your
this
time,
would be
Ellie.
a label backed
And like I said, you don't put any music behind it. Just get like it's a promotional video for Project Kenna, so it's not as much us and stuff. And like party, just like the dogs, sweet moments with the animals, the staff there and stuff like that. So it's not even like anything too crazy. We'll give it to them without music so they can, because his music is not gonna be our taste. You know what I mean? So I was gonna let them have their music. Bro, Ali, you can add this to your resume, bro, for editing. You know what I'm saying? Like in the arms of an angel type shit. You know what I mean? We're trying to tug on some heartstrings.
push that had the potential to change PB's life. However, PB's world would be completely turned upside down when one day in 1984,
Yeah, Jada.
she received the most
Listen, bro. Listen, the cult does charity work. We do sex work. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. we just like to party, have a good time, and help out and be good. I want to do another charity stream this month for something gay. It's Pride Month, and I always do something for Pride Month. I'm doing a big event for Pride Month, but I want to do a charity for Pride Month. I'm not sure what it's gonna be, but I'm gonna try to cook something up.
devastating call of her life. Hugh Moffat,
Hey.
PB's husband, announced over the phone that he was leaving her and running away with their son's Montessori preschool teacher. Because
It's too
Hugh was
freaky.
already in the industry, all of
Listen,
their
chat. I'm brainstorming a reality show right now, and it's gonna be culty and freaky as fuck, and it'll probably go on TLC because they always pick up that freaky shit.
Mutual friends labeled PB
Why the
as
fuck
the
is it so
crazy
hot in my
one.
room?
She lost her network, every connection, and every industry friend that she had in the blink of an eye. She suddenly had nothing. This
Bro, what, her mom in the cheetah print back in the day, it's kind of crazy, bro. She was the first. It's into that.
would send
I'm gonna pass on that. Yeah, well, like I said, we weren't, saying you could join, but we appreciate, Turk. Yeah, we already cast it, but thanks for considering. Why not sign me up?
Separate on a multi-year
Yeah, that's awkward.
long bender and caused her to completely ghost her album, simply just never showing up to a session again. The only people who saw PB during this dark time were her toddler son Lagan and her drug dealer. However, from this bender would come one of the most golden and iconic pop superstars the
This is how I was born, chat.
early 2000s had ever seen. Around 1986, amidst the bender,
We have our own spinoff.
purple hair
That show will be on Roku TV.
PB Sebert discovered she was pregnant.
No,
The
I'm playing with
father?
you.
We'll get to that a little later. PB seemingly never quit partying during her pregnancy.
You were born at a party.
It was. I mean, my mom was kind of.
She's kind of a hippie.
She's totally out of her mind. But so she was she was like.
Bro, 2026, I'm gonna go to my hippie era. I'm gonna be living on the beach, skateboarding, and I'm just gonna be like, dude, what does anything matter? Let's just chill on the bitch. Let's just get tan, get some vitamin D from the sun.
Like about to give birth, like about to pop, and
Dual
But she was at a
stream it
party
'cause watches
when her water
cable
broke.
Roku, so more people will stream it because watches cable TLC. Umi's tired. She's tired as hell. What the fuck does that mean? Tiffany understood it somehow, but totally rad.
okay, she wasn't at a party. She threw a party. Big difference.
Cable TLC.
I love that. She wasn't at a party, she threw a
Big
party.
girl.
When you're pregnant, they come to you. So she
Yes.
invited all of her friends over, and they were just kicking it. And then all of a sudden, I like flew out.
Surrounded by her closest friends she'd found during the darkest moment
Oh, this is gonna be iconic. I hope so for you, bro. Like I said, I never wish anything bad on anyone. I hope everyone pops off. So good luck, guys. And I'll be watching, supporting, because you guys are my girls. So hope things pop off for you. Listen, bro. I never return bad energy. I fight bad energy with good energy, and I hope it works out for you. You guys deserve it.
moments of her life,
fighting to stay
PB
up.
would give birth to
Fight
pop
harder.
phenomenon Kesha Rose Sebert.
Wait, and her real name
life-
is fucking Kesha? What up, DC?
The life of a songwriter in the 1980s was sadly just as unlucrative as it is today. Thus, PB would bring up her children amidst poverty while battling multiple active addictions.
Do I? That's a station. Bro, I'm giving, like, my son is, like, my kids are gonna have such, like star power names. They got a lot to live up to.
Some of Kesha's earliest memories are shoplifting with her mother when she was only
Nah, bro, you guys are both in the big head genre. You know what I mean?
6 years old. Her mother
It'll
telling
work.
her, if you want something, you just have to take it. In the early 90s, around the time Kesha was 5 or 6, PB moved the family to the country music capital of the world, Nashville, Tennessee.
Hell
PB
yeah.
tried her hand at the music industry once again. This time though, behind the scenes, as a songwriter. While Kesha attended elementary school, PB would hustle, waiting tables by day and attempting
Nashville
to
is
put
so
together
fun.
a
I had a lot of fun in Nashville. Honestly, I would go back to Nashville, to be honest.
music catalog at night in hopes of
My
securing a
place.
publishing
Sis,
deal.
that's more my
Now,
city.
after creating her catalog, when it was finally time to pitch herself to
Bro, next time we go to Nashville, chat, we all need to get boots and cowboy hats and shit.
labels, PB
And a guitar.
was so embarrassed by the way her relationship to Hugh
The same
ended.
cat- I just-
She
I'm in a
couldn't face
different
the
big
same
head
people
category,
who
you
had
know what I mean?
shunned her all those years ago.
You take us line dancing? Bro, when we were in Nashville, we were all pulled up, bro, and there was nowhere to go line dancing. It seemed like it was all like clubs that were packed with like crazy cover fees. And like, why was this so packed when we were in Nashville? I felt like it was overly packed. Like, we couldn't get into anything. Then both of ours combined. Real.
She instantly crumbled from the embarrassment and shame,
Yeah,
and
be
instead
21, that was the
became
thing. I mean, no, like, everything was like, I didn't see a single, like, I was like Googling places and they all were like closed or like there were lines out the fucking door.
an anonymous staff writer with a major label. Now, during this entire ordeal, PB noticed
I
a
told you.
spark in her young daughter, Kesha. She began rapidly developing an interest in music, songwriting, and
Wait, did someone say something? It must have been the wind. I don't know.
singing. Her voice was incredible. She had a strong, sneering vibrato that only comes around once a generation. Her voice was not only angelic, it was unique. PB recognized the pure talent.
Umi knows me too well. Listen, chat. Listen. Here's how the cult works, right? We all fucking you guys are all in a big sled, like you're Santa Claus and you're the gifts and toys. And I'm Rudolph, right? And we're just
pouring out of her daughter and began bringing her from studio
Chat's
to
so
studio
active.
to record music, even as a
Okay, yeah, we gotta chill on Tiff. Bro, Tiff's sensitive. Shh. Tiff, it's okay. I'm stroking her big hair right now. It's okay. Yeah, I'll tease it up for you. It's okay, Tiff. We love you. You don't be reading shit. Who's the biggest airhead? Did Allie just say that?
a young child. Kesha's
Yeah,
mother
that's me, for
really
sure.
uplifted her talent and
Yeah.
encouraged her to pursue
Love
even
you,
her
Tiff.
most wildest dreams. However,
Yeah,
on the flip
Allie's
side,
correct.
Kesha and PB both described their relationship
Yeah, bro. I wish someday I was intelligent and articulate in Allie.
as toxic
Discord.
and deeply flawed. PB explaining that her children grew up in an alcoholic family and that they had some very
Bro, Allie just sent me a thick, juicy booty pic. Damn, girl. Okay. Hell yeah.
rough years, describing many of their arguments as volatile screaming matches
love
where they would
airheads.
blow up at one
You know,
another.
Jason.
This fighting would be on again, off again for
Yeah.
years. As
Listen, bro, it's fucking summer. You got it too. We need positivity. We need optimism. We need to unite. We need love. It's the summer of love. Be back when he's nicer. There's my girl DC. See, bro, Upi's coming for everyone. You are there, bro. Jason's a sweet man. I love this man.
Kesha grew up, her relationship with her mother got more and more toxic.
Bro, Umi does need that nap. She's grumpy. He is grumpy.
She began rebelling
I'm
and
afraid.
completely changing her image. Frequently, Kesha was called to the
Love you,
principal's
Jada. Welcome
office
to the
for
gang,
outfits
the
that she'd
community.
styled for herself. One particular occasion being her purple hair and purple velvet pants that she'd actually sewn. However, teachers were truly picking on her for nothing, as
Sam's my goat. There it is. There's the love. You're my goat, Sammy. You're my goat.
she was an excellent student, receiving scholarship
too.
offers to Bernard, an affiliate school of Columbia University, even scoring a 1500 on her
Yo, Delilah, what? Dog. Let's just talk. Like, have a conversation with us.
SATs. Kesha was a shining student with a bright future, but she also possessed
Join
a
in,
rare
good sis.
gift. She could create
It's for my game. Yeah, well, like I said, join in or let's keep things together. And I hate it. Why? What change? I know I've seen an update too. What the fuck did they do? Like when you give bits now, some weird shit happens. Like there's like a weird heart thing on my screen. Like what is all this shit?
and
Massage chair digging at me, bro. Wish I was a massage chair right now.
incredible music. By the time Kesha was a teenager,
Lucky
she was
chair.
recording music non-stop. PB knew Kesha had something very special and wanted her
know,
to be the
dude.
star that she never was able to be. She began sending her daughter's demos to different producers across Nashville,
You're gonna dig at me,
hoping
Chad.
and praying for one of them
Bro, people think it's so cool. Oh, being a streamer, DJ, TikToker. But at the end of the day, when the cameras go off, who's there to dig in me?
to bite.
Love you,
and they
Caitlin.
actually did. PB had
I'm
given
on your
two
side. Who's gonna be there?
of Kesha's demos to Samantha Cox, the senior director of writer and publisher relations.
See, look. Like, what is this? What is going on? What's going on my screen? What does this mean? I don't even know who it's coming from. Death Candy, thank you so much. That's kind of cool. Oh, you can combo? Yeah, it looks ticky-tacky, kinda. It's weird. Thank you so much for the 19 hearts. But like, that was 95 bits. That's weird. Digging yourself, bro. You guys are straight hateful today. Damn.
Of BMI at the time, and Samantha was about to change Kesha's life forever. She passed 2 Kesha demos to the
Thank you, Jada. I don't like it. Honestly, I think it's kind of cool. Can someone send me a tiny diny? Let him get a
likes of pop music.
Money, am I right? Yeah, bro. I was gonna be sweet to you guys today. I'm even showing a little shoulder.
Veteran Max Martin and up-and-coming producer Dr. Luke.
You know what? It's Pride Month. As a straight man, you guys can I'll accept it. I love you guys.
2 producers listen to the 2.
Speaking of Pride Month, my boy Smith. DC, thank you for the fucking. You can actually send tiny dimes? Shut the fuck up. How? Dude, how? Dude, how is that a possibility? Dude, what the fuck is going on? That's hilarious. Bro, remember the wide-eyed worsty from TikTok? Jason with 100 butts. I appreciate it. Listen, chat, if we hit our sub goal, we're gonna watch a morning cartoons, bro. Shout out to Morgan to the 5. DC, Jason, thanks for the biddies. You're gonna love this. Listen, bro, he's perfect. Bro, listen, the cult's growing so much. Yeah, it really has, bro. We have popping off, viral videos, Instagram's growing, we're getting more shows. It's kind of crazy.
2 demos, describing the first as
like, listen to this, chat. I got someone who wants me to do a show in Miami, but it's like 2 weeks after one of my other shows, and like I'm really not trying to like one show a month is already a lot, it feels like, and one trip a month it's just like a lot. It's like I don't want to go do it unless I can bring you guys, and I like throwing 2 shows and 2 meetups in 1 month is fucking a lot. But it's in Miami and it's summer, so. Delilah, thank you for the bits. You guys are awesome. The community, thank you guys.
a beautiful angelic country ballad. And the second was described by magazines who heard it as well as a quote, gobsmackingly awful trip hop track. Surprisingly, the second demo that everyone said was so bad was the one that got Dr. Luke and Max Martin's attention. Kesha freestyled for the entire final minute of the song,
I love
saying,
Kesha.
quote, I'm a white girl from the Ville, Nashville, bitch. Dr. Luke's face lit up, saying, that's when I was like, okay, I like this girl's personality.
Turk!
When you're
with the tiny dinies. Bro, why am I on TikTok live right now? Except for I can say this. Cunt, slut, bitch, pussy, asshole. God, on TikTok, I'd be banned in instance. Oh my god, I love it. I want to plan a private show. I want to plan a private show in Washington. Damn, sis. Listen, I do private shows for people. DJ in your, listen, I DJ in your room, butt ass naked. You just got listen. My private show price is $1,000, chat. I'll give you a private show if you know what I mean.
You're listening to 100 CDs, that kind of bravado and chutzpah just kind of stands out. Her voice popped out. And then she started rapping about being a white girl from Tennessee. Her personality was already there. Dr. Luke ending the quote saying, and she was pretty. Kesha's quoted saying,
bro, listen, if you guys ever get married, I'll DJ for you. Period. Period. Free, no charge. I got you guys. Nice. You won't. Withdrawing my retirement, bro. I'll probably never retire at this point. It's gone. Listen, by the time we get older, chat, there's gonna be no retiring left.
Dr. Luke said that was the moment he realized I was willing to put my business out there and not get embarrassed. I'm irreverent and fun, and he thought that the world needed somebody fun. Speaking of fun, earlier in 2004, in an attempt for more media opportunities, Kesha's mother, PB Sebert, answered an
do you do weddings as the husband? No. Pinky swear.
an advertisement in the Nashville
I got you,
newspaper, searching for eccentric families in Nashville, Tennessee for socialites Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton to film with for their reality show, The Simple Life. Now, we have a video on The Simple Life. We have a series
Graduation
on Paris and Nicole.
parties
I will
for
link
college,
all of that
yeah.
below as well. But through the typical casting process, the Sebert family would be selected to appear on the show.
Would you throw a birthday? Will I throw the birthday party? Get the sis. I'm a DJ, not a party planner. I pull up to the parties a DJ.
Centering on Paris, Nicole, and Kesha auditioning various men for her mom to date.
They're almost here. Hey, they're not gluey, they're debutantes. I think Paris and Nicole will fit in with our family really well.
Price is
Would you like to
Right.
dance?
I gotta save a horse, ride a cowboy, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So if this was your mom,
I'm gonna vomit.
That's crazy.
Thank you, sexy.
Bro, Paris Hilton was literally has just done anything she wanted. Like, she just has so much money. She has this, she has that. Like she's a DJ. She's recorded tracks. She's doing this. Maybe your man, bro. I really do need like a manager assistant. Like, but like I need someone. Like, here's the thing is, I need someone who's like has time and energy and is like gonna be like passionate, energetic about it, and it's gonna want to like throw their whole OC or dick into it. So we can both be successful, because like if I pop off and get things, then I can like we can share it together, and like who's gonna go out of their way to like try to find deals to do this, to do that, and help me with this. I'll be your assistant. Like you gotta have like social media know-how and like actual like experience in it, and like be willing to go out of your way. I have an OC maybe in there. Like I need someone like listen, hit me up on Discord. We'll talk about it. You know what I mean?
What do you like to do for fun?
I love to dance.
Clubs? Oh, you like to dance? Can you show us? Those guns. Hey, ball.
A little face.
Alright, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
Sexy.
I have OCD.
It looks like the girls have finished their search to find a match for PBs.
While
Professionalism,
filming Simple Life with Paris
reaching out
and
to
Nicole,
brands,
Kesha's home
opportunities,
phone
shows,
receive a call from Dr.
venues.
Luke attempting to reach out to Kesha over the demo tapes Samantha Cox had sent to him. However, Kesha wasn't able to get
At
to the
home.
phone
Be
in
safe, my
time,
man.
and Dr. Luke would be greeted by an irreverent Nicole Richie, who hung up the phone on him. Max Martin and Dr. Luke would eventually reach a 17-year-old Kesha. However, they didn't want to wait for her to turn 18 and graduate.
Creepy
They
as
wanted
fuck.
her now. Thus, as the story goes, the two award-winning producers would attempt to convince 17-year-old Kesha to drop out of high school in pursuit of her music career. It was a tough decision for her, as she would already have multiple prestigious colleges offering her scholarships.
Damn.
Up until this point, she
That's
had never
crazy.
considered even the possibility of dropping out. But over a series of calls, the two men were able
Bro, I was only decent in high school. I didn't have any offers, bro. Like like the offers, like some smaller colleges send out to everyone because they're like recruiting, like they need people to make money. But like I never like was like known for like being like all the like, crazy stuff like that. So I had to apply to all the schools.
to convince Kesha to drop high
shit.
school and move back to California to pursue her music career.
D.
During
Okay,
the
I didn't have a D. I was like I would like say I was pretty much all B's, and like I would always have A's in history and English, but I would do C's in math. I had like C in math, I had a C in Spanish.
At the same time, Kesha's mother would track down the man she believed to be Kesha's biological father. She convinced Kesha to move in with this man as he lived in Los Angeles, and she didn't have any other option to live out there, so Kesha agreed. But upon meeting him for the first time, Kesha claimed there was, quote, no way this was my father. All he did all day was sit around and play video games.
Hey! Sounds like me. I'm kidding.
When I was 17, I got a phone call from this dude, and he was like, "Oh, I think I'm your dad."
Bro, I love
And
her
was like,
hair, dude.
Okay,
I love big
yeah,
hair.
because I don't know who my dad is, and my mom was like, possibility.
Like that's like that's lit hair.
And so,
Did she have any recollection?
oh yeah, she was like, yeah, definite
Is
possibility.
that Hillary Clinton? What the fuck is Hillary Clinton doing in this?
At the time, she just wanted a baby.
Yeah.
So she was just like, no. Turns out it was not my dad. The guy had a video game chair, like in 40-Year-Old Virgin, and I was like, nope, you're not my dad. So
She hating.
after I figured that out, it was kind of at the same time I hooked up with Dr. Luke and Max Martin.
Yeah.
Never went to one.
And then just started
Rip.
recording like crazy. I was living in my grandpa's Lincoln Town country car.
Ooh, a Lincoln.
Nice.
Yeah, it was very roomy.
Much more
It
space.
was like a boat, actually. But
Hoopty.
that was just for like in between the period of time where I met this dude that was definitely not my dad, because it was like off the airplane, move in with this dude, you're not my dad, I'm gonna go. And like, where do I go? A car.
Have you found your dad?
No.
Do you want to?
No.
No, remember this because it actually still comes back
Wait,
later.
Jada's
now
going
that
to
Kesha
bed?
was in Los Angeles, California, Dr.
Oh, good night, Jada. Love you. You're not my dad. Might say something. Little hit.
Luke was also able to convince.
Did you see where they found that guy, the kid who did that? And he's like an adult now, and he was like, do it. And he does the "you're not my dad" thing again.
Her to sign on with his
Like
own
he's
label,
full-grown
Cash
now.
Money, and his publishing company, Prescription Songs. This would give Dr. Luke complete control
Yeah.
over Kesha's career, and the contract would be a standard
said.
6-album deal. But Dr. Luke's intentions with Kesha were unclear and seemingly even sinister.
Oh damn. Bro, I'm gonna drop the emo song of the summer. Watch.
Kesha would actually be the very first artist Dr. Luke would sign to his label and begin developing. In October of 2005, just 9 days after the ink dried on the contract, Dr. Luke was in the studio with Paris Hilton producing her new song, Nothing in This World.
My name is Dr. Luke, and I produce Nothing in This World for Paris Hilton on this record. I had a few ideas, and this was the one
Did
that
that
she
feature. Listen, bro, I'll send you a sample. So send me a sample. See what you can do.
gravitated to. This is totally rough.
Is there lyrics on it already or no?
No, she was able to hear it before it was done. She had the vision to see it.
Eileen's the
First I
next
heard
bad
it, there wasn't
baby.
even words to it, but the beat was just so incredible.
Are you going to Swig? Where are you going?
They needed backing vocals on the song, so who better to help than his newly signed artist? Plus, Kesha had already spent time with Paris on The Simple Life. So Dr. Luke called Kesha up, inviting her to the studio, allegedly saying,
Studio.
quote, Paris can't
Fuck
sing
Swig.
for
Bro,
Paris
I'm
did-
telling you, it's so delicious. That's where it's at.
All the vocals on the song. A lot of people don't
Ever,
realize that
ever.
actually. A lot of the times in songs,
How's
the
your day,
artist
Kato?
doesn't sing all the background parts and
Or
stuff like
Ghost.
that.
Have you tried the orange one? Scrum? Ultra Sunset?
A lot of really big artists. I really was determined to make sure that she did everything,
like
and she
pussy.
was a trooper, and she did it.
They were in the studio all day long, wrapping up their session at around 11 p.m. That's when Kesha and Dr. Luke would head out to Hollywood hotspot Mood for Paris's sister, Nikki Hilton's birthday celebration. An 18-year-old Kesha wasn't new to the world of partying given her childhood, but
Chat, we need to start spreading propaganda. Cult propaganda. Like fake storylines, fake headlines, mysterious storylines. Like, we gotta take fake paparazzi pictures. Like, you know what I mean? We gotta do shit like this.
she was
About
now
what?
officially entering the early 2000s
all about-
Hollywood nightlife with
it's all
a
about creating
bunch
the
of
image.
rich socialites. And that kind of partying is very different. So she said Dr. Luke took her under his wing that night. Despite being underage,
That's what I'm
Kesha
saying.
was
We
served
gotta
2 to 3
brainstorm.
glasses of champagne. However,
Oh,
she had
damn.
never had champagne before.
I'm
so
not
she-
gonna lie, when I first went to LA, I was like 16, 17, bro. And all the people I met with, like the photographers, the agents and stuff like that, they'd be like, "You want a drink?" And I'd be like, yeah. And they'd just get me alcohol. And like no one would say anything, no one would do anything. And I'd get drunk. And then we would we'd do our photo shoots all day, do our meetings, blah 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 blah. And then we'd go to clubs and I'd just be with them and we'd just walk right in. And I was like 16, 17 years old.
He began to feel woozy and a little nauseous.
Honestly, I
Soon
feel
after,
like
Paris
I
would
feel like in like normal towns, certain places, like they're like obviously you got IDs like that, but like places like that where these people go, like they know like that people are bringing in underage people, and it's like an untold secret that they're gonna let them in. Like, what is it? Untold rule. Whatever.
announced
Unwritten
that she
rule.
would be hosting the after party at her villa. That's when Kesha states that she told Dr. Luke she, quote, doesn't feel great and feels a little drunk.
Unspoken.
Kesha then alleges that Dr. Luke responded with, quote, I have a sober pill. Since she had never partied with rich people before, she assumed it was
Be back later,
something that
boobies.
famous people
See ya, bub.
concocted and proceeded to take the pill. They
That's
headed over to the
fucked.
after party where Kesha would have one more glass of champagne. But right after drinking it, she felt immediately sick. She started searching for a bathroom, but she didn't make it to one. And this is when she would infamously throw up all
Oh,
over
wow.
Paris Hilton's closet full of designer shoes. Kesha would even write a song about it.
I threw up in Paris Hilton's closet.
And it's kind of lit, girl. I mean, bro, she's 17, never been to Hollywood. Social media wasn't around back then. Like, nowadays, like, you, even as a younger person, you can know and see and read things and know what, like, about these things. But back then, bro, you didn't know that. My dream shoe closet, mine would be full of J's, bro.
It wasn't long before security found Kesha and kicked her out of the party for being disruptive. Since Dr. Luke had taken her under his wing that night, he said he felt responsible to go with her. Now, this is the part of the story where everything goes completely black for Kesha.
Damn.
Dr. Luke had been staying
Kesha,
at the Mondrian Hotel.
For real, bro, like, honestly, that's so dark and disturbing and sad. And the thing is, Dr. Luke is still around, still making songs for people, still working with up-and-coming artists.
Which was only a few minutes walk away from Paris's house. According to
Bro, if I was a girl, I would have all the heels, bro. Like, I like, heels are so fucking sexy, so if I was a girl, I need all the best ones. I'm lucky I'm not a girl, bro. I'd be such a fucking diva. I'd be such a bitch.
him after they got kicked out of the party, they made their way to his suite, where he said that she slept in the bed and he ended up taking the couch. The next morning, Dr. Luke would head out to meet with Katy Perry, who at the time was an up-and-coming artist. Hours later, Kesha would wake up horrified to find herself completely unclothed in the bed at the Mondrian Hotel with absolutely no memory of how she got there or why her clothes were off. She said she felt like she was going to die. Her body was aching and she was throwing up green stomach acid. Not knowing what to do, at around 2 p.m., she called her mom from the hotel phone, telling her she might need to go to the emergency room. According to PB, Kesha also said she felt, quote, weird down there. I think we had...
Shit, girl, it's Amazon that shit.
Days passed, Kesha tried to piece together what happened that night. She just felt like...
I can't imagine the green stomach acid, but I can imagine, like, some of those things for sure.
Something was very off and strange. But she had just signed this deal with Dr. Luke, which was the closest she had ever been to her dreams becoming a reality. She didn't feel like going to the police at the time was an option, telling her mom not to mention it because she wanted to have a career. A few weeks after that awful night, Kesha would meet with Dr. Luke, and her hopes for her career started to come crashing down before it even began. Dr. Luke wanted Kesha to work with Larry Rudolph, Britney Spears' manager, but Kesha rejected this, which ended up resulting in an argument. According to PB, that's when Dr. Luke told Kesha, quote, she wasn't that pretty and she wasn't that good, and there were 1,000 other girls who would be thankful to be signed to him. Kesha officially felt like none of what Dr. Luke had promised her was ever going to happen.
That's fucked. But she honestly was, even that they dodged the bullet not working with Britney Spears' manager, because that motherfucker was evil.
In 2005, her and her mom would meet with David Sonnenberg, the founder of Das Communications, a music management company. David had been in the industry for a very long time and had managed huge stars such as the Black Eyed Peas and John Legend. They approached him to see if there was any way they could get out of the contract with Dr. Luke. But after David looked it over, he didn't really see a way, as it was pretty ironclad. This is when PB told David what had happened to Kesha that night at the Mondrian Hotel. By the end of the meeting, Kesha hired Das and David as her new management team in hopes that they could get her away from Dr. Luke and score her a new record deal. David immediately got started on trying to get Kesha out of her contract. He contacted an attorney who met with Kesha.
Oh! Wasn't Kesha and Victorious with the ice cream? They had like get the ice cream, get her numbers, and then get a private performance from Kesha? Or am I tripping? Was that Shakira?
And in April of 2006, they sent an email to Dr. Luke, warning him that if they had to take this to court, they would get into the specifics of misconduct between an experienced music industry veteran and an 18-year-old girl. Well, Dr. Luke seemed to be completely unfazed by this email and refused to negotiate a new deal. Kesha was officially stuck in this limbo phase where she couldn't move forward in her career. She was unable to get a new deal due to her contract, and Dr. Luke wasn't working with her to release music. Her life was in a total standstill. In order to pay the bills, Kesha would do small performances here and there, like at house parties. And her management team at DAS would still continue their work trying to get her a record deal. In the meantime, they hooked her up with the twin Nervo sisters who wrote the top line of the David Guetta and Kelly Rowland smash, When Love Takes Over. The Nervos worked with Kesha on a track called Boots and Boys that would years later make it onto her debut album. This will be important for later on in the video. Now we're gonna have to fast forward from
It's crazy how long this stuff actually takes to like process and do and make happen, like record deals, albums, things like that.
2006 to 2008. In 2 years, Kesha still had no movement forward in her music career. Kesha's manager David had finally found her a production deal in order to release her debut album with Warner Brother Records. However, Dr. Luke would allegedly refuse to sign off on the production deal, completely blocking her from growing her career.
That's so
no
sick.
record label was going to sign Kesha until she resolved the now years-long conflicts surrounding her Dr. Luke contract. At this point, she felt like she had no choice but to reconcile with him. According to PB, this is when Dr. Luke called Kesha, telling her she had 24 hours to fire her lawyer and management team in order to go back with him. So she severed her relationship with Das and David. However, she was in a contract with them and gave no real justification for the termination. Now that Kesha was back in the grips of Dr. Luke, she finally was able to hit the ground running in terms of her music career, and the next year would be a massive one for her.
Bro, these
now,
contracts
if you'll hop
are
with me in the deep dive time machine back to 2003, Dr. Luke was
these dudes, these like producers, managers, like they would sign these like 16, 17-year-old, 18-year-old kids to like these crazy fucking deals. They basically control their whole career and lives and can do whatever they make them do whatever they want. Is a douche, bro? He's sick.
Nearly completely unknown, being the lead guitarist in the Saturday Night Live band and remixing a few songs for Mortal Kombat. Late in 2003, on a fated night in New York City, Dr. Luke was drafted to show Swedish songwriter and producer Max Martin around the New York City club scene. The two work acquaintances instantly became real friends, almost immediately hitting the studio together and crafting their very first demo as a duo. A pop ballad layered with grungy guitar.
The crazy thing is he's made so many of everyone's favorite, most like childhood memory songs.
Guitars titled Since You've Been Gone.
Since You've Been Gone!
The song as a pitch to Pink, but it would end up in the hands of a newly debuted Kelly Clarkson. Now, we have an entire video about Kelly Clarkson and Dr. Luke on our sister channel, Secret Society.
Bro, this Dr. Luke fucker's involved with everyone. Like, this Dr. Luke guy's fucking evil.
I'll link it below. At the time, Kelly was having trouble establishing her own style and specific sound, only having belting ballads that, yes, showed off her voice, but didn't quite stand out from the crowd. She had had some success directly after American Idol, but then sort of plateaued. Thus, Kelly recorded the Max Martin and Dr. Luke demo song that nobody else wanted, and went #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Since You've Been Gone was a huge overnight success, and gave Kelly a complete renaissance in pop music. This caught the industry's attention. Suddenly Pink was listening to Dr. Luke and Max Martin's demos, even recording You Plus Your Hand and Who Knew. Max Martin and Dr. Luke were even the masterminds behind pop rock classic Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne. Pink and Kelly already had extensive catalogs before collaborating with Dr. Luke and Max Martin, but their next artist was nearly completely...
Okay, bro, he's actually been involved with hundreds like of your favorite artists. He was Benny Blanco's mentor.
Undiscovered. At the time, an artist by the name of Katy Perry was bouncing around the industry, partying with a teenage Kesha Sebert and getting dropped by label after label. However, when Dr. Luke and Max Martin collaborated with Katy on I Kissed a Girl and Hot and Cold, she became the biggest breakthrough artist of 2008. Now, if you want a video on the rise of Katy Perry's career and her relationship with
dropping Katy, it's because she didn't exactly fit the pop star model back then. She wasn't like, you know, Britney or this or this. She made music that was, you know, had a lot of LGBTQ plus themes to it, which was good for like that. And you know, she looked a little different than like, you know, your typical, and she wouldn't fit the mold, and so they kept dropping her. And then she got one song that finally they signed and they put on the airwaves, and she did the rest herself.
Russell Brand, we already have an entire deep dive on that, and I'll link it below. However, the success of Katy Perry in 2008 would cause the industry, and more specifically Capitol Records, to dub Max Martin and Dr. Luke as the Dream Team. But Dr. Luke was looking to grow beyond just writing and producing, telling publications, "I've only written 2 songs that I didn't produce. I can control the song a bit more by producing it." The next evolution of that was just to find an artist. End quote. Now, with artists like Lady Gaga, Rihanna, and now Katy Perry on the rise, Simple and Iconic was out, and shockingly weird and high fashion were in. With this complete new era of pop culture in mind, Dr. Luke wanted to create an artist from the ground up and mold them into his image. And this would be the dripped-out, auto-tuned party girl aesthetic he envisioned for Kesha.
We kind of developed the sound together. It was me like being a sassy lady, and then him kind of helping me put that into a pop song. His sense of melody is just...
Imagine being controlled
like
and having to
from
work
God.
with someone
It's
who
bizarre. Everything
did
that
what
comes
they
out
did
of
to
his
you.
mouth is incredible, and
And
it's so
they
catchy
control
and
your
hippie.
career. You have no choice. You just gotta accept it. They have you in a crazy contract.
Time to get the day going, dress it up to the nines. Yo, critter
Oh,
crew, make Princess Kesha look fine. Add a little pinch of magic from my fairy tale life,
And they just dangle your career above your head anytime you don't listen or you start shit.
look in the mirror, rub my eyes, and what is this? Some genie slut smiling back, suck it. Yo, Mr. I can pass the jack, I need your ends. Trim it, prim it, dress it messy, yeah, no, that's
Critter
my
crew.
shit. I'm getting ready, so now
Is this a real music video?
it's kinda cool, I got a real vibe for it. This no mirror lady can deny.
What the fuck? What the fuck was that skunk doing? Good music, man.
Now, at the time, Warped Tour was going strong. Alcohol pop was on the rise, and all of America was popping
Fangirling.
bottles in the ice.
Bro, I fangirl,
Like a
but
blizzard.
not-
Previous deep dive subject, Tila Tequila,
What
was topping the
cost?
MySpace charts with her hits, and electro-pop duo.
Block that
previous
skunk out, cause what the fuck was that? What up, Clampy?
deep dive subject, the Millionaires, were making waves with their empowering
Warped
party
Tour, bro.
anthems.
If I was an adult during Warped Tour and I could enjoy all this shit, over Sabrina Carpenter, I mean, just for memes, like I would say, like my favorite artist of all time, I would like fanboy over. Probably just be you guys. Fucking love you, chat. You guys are my real heroes, the real people I look up to. Dead eyes.
IRL, their audience was kind of hateful at times, but online, they had a very loyal following. Even to this day, they spawned a scene queen movement. And Dr.
mean,
Luke
chat.
allegedly wanted a piece of that pie. Now, it was rumored throughout the industry
I'd rather
that
meet you
among
guys,
the
see you
Millionaires'
guys,
top
and do
listeners
that.
was newly established pop veteran Dr. Luke. Melissa Marie from the Millionaires telling publications, "We worked with producers in the music industry, so we heard all the gossip. Dr. Luke had admitted to someone that he stole our whole persona." End quote. And this wasn't a reach at all. Kesha had strategically acquainted herself in the scene with all of their friends, among the likes of Akon client at the time, Jeffree Star, and even
Jeffree
RuPaul's
Star
Drag
made
Race
music?
alumni Detox. This made Kesha feel
I'd sell you
authentically
for
online.
Forbes. You would. I don't even doubt that. You're my hero.
And organic. 7 months prior to TikTok's
Been a
release,
lot.
European
I'm out.
club rapper Uffy had a viral hit song called The Party, where she rapped over a Eurotrash beat about drinking and being a party girl. She would also claim her entire vibe was stolen by Dr. Luke for Kesha. MySpace star Chrissy
Just
had
kidding.
also just gone viral with her
Bro,
hit.
Corpse been doing some sus shit on Instagram lately, bro. So, oh yeah, this is a weird story. So I follow Corpse on Instagram, bro. And you know you can repost Instagram reels. Bro, I was like, what the fuck? I like had my phone. I was like, why is my ex on my page right now? I was like, the fuck? And Corpse had reposted one of her fucking TikToks or Instagram reels to one of his songs. I was like, dude, what the fuck, bro? I can't escape this motherfucker. No way, Jeffree Star was helping Nicki Minaj. Really? Bro, I didn't know Jeffree Star was that old. He kind of was doing a lot. I thought Jeffree Star was like a YouTuber guy. That's where he started. saw that warehouse party. Wait, for who got huge exactly?
Hit song My Slushy, and it was very.
I'm gonna make bro. Corpse is always active on social media. He just doesn't post anything. Like he be commenting, liking, reposting.
Very reminiscent of Kesha's final sound.
Riding around the streets on a hot summer day, got the drop top down, cruising the freeway.
Now Chrissy would.
Bro, listen, I feel bad for him, bro, because he really was. I honestly, I like this personality. He had a cool persona, and he wanted to stay anonymous, and people couldn't respect that. Jeffree Star, damn. And they outed him, and all his information got leaked, and it's just sad, bro. It's just sad because, like, I think him being mysterious and making cool music and making good content was cool. You know what I mean? He's still ugly. I mean, I'm not even worried about if he's ugly, but I mean, I'm sure some people are, but obviously that was like a big sore spot for him. You know, not a sore spot, insecurity, which we all have insecurities, and so he wanted to do what he loved and not have to, have to feel that way and feel that violated, and it must suck to feel violated by the very people you think care about you and support you. You know what I mean?
To take it a step further than Uffy, she would actually file a copyright infringement case against Dr. Luke, and in classic Dr. Luke fashion.
And the thing was, he never claimed to be super handsome and crazy. He'd always talk about how he looks in the mirror and he hates it. And you listen to his songs, they're very grungy, emo topics. So it's not like he was like I'm the hottest on the scene, type shit. You know what I mean? He was always like that, and I feel like a lot of people related to that, and so. And he had a hot voice, you know what I mean? I feel like that can make up for any face.
Sony Music threatened Chrissy with a defamation suit in their response. Kesha would rebrand her name, voice, personality, and entire appearance to fit the most iconic characteristics popular on MySpace at the time. A fresh freckled face, blonde curly hair, and Dance Commander uniform, often smearing glitter across half of her face. This would be Kesha's uniform throughout the 2010s, bringing glitter cannons wherever she went, even going viral for spending thousands and thousands of dollars a month on glitter.
Yeah, and he always tell people, I'm not all that, chill, chill, chill. And then, people just kept hyping him up. It wasn't even him. Because he was, listen to his song Agoraphobic. It kind of describes how he feels, stuff like that.
Kesha's persona was a fun-loving party girl who was completely carefree.
Ugly is an
early
opinion, a state of mind.
Did not give
that.
What anyone thought. News publications would often write of her, quote, erratic behavior and how she always seemed and high. However, this was truly a persona, being branded as a carefree, rebellious teenager. Kesha was working her off and wouldn't have time to indulge in substances every day that didn't help her career. Anything that slowed her down seemed to be a no-go. Kesha telling publications she doesn't do drugs and she only drinks occasionally, yet all her music said otherwise. A narrative was being crafted around Kesha, that she was drunk, high, and rebellious. This further protected Dr. Luke. As if Kesha was wild and crazy and drunk all the time, many people wouldn't believe her if she came forward.
I think Corpse is was humble and real enough of a human to see that he got a lot of great success out of music, social media, and made a lot of great friends, and I'm sure money too, and all the negative and toxic things came, and he was smart enough just to walk away and take the positives, and he's gonna live a good life the rest of his life, not have to worry about that shit. Because a lot of people some bad shit will happen to them, and they'll get whatever, a lot of hate and this, and then there's always desperately cling to coming back, and blah 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 blah. And
it was expertly crafted. Kesha with a $sign was truly an entire persona created to sell
I don't blame
music.
him, bro. Social media and the internet is so fucking toxic right now. It really is, bro. Shit is so toxic on the internet right now. Fucking stupid. I wouldn't come back if I was him either, bro. Why would I want to put up that shit?
Didn't reflect who she actually was. At the end of 2008, Kesha would go to the recording studio one day while Dr. Luke was in a session with Flo Rida. Dr. Luke thought her voice would sound cool on—
Bro, so obviously his core fan base, I heard actually a good job of getting things deleted off the internet and Google and stuff like that. But not his whole shit got doxxed, bro. They found his license, they got a picture of his license, it's high school pictures, his family pictures, his home. It was bad, bro. And it was a combination of crazy fans and haters. How they get all this stuff. Honestly, I don't fucking know. I mean, I'm sure there's ways, but like I personally don't know. I mean, I've never done anything like that. They doxed his whole ass.
On a new song he was doing called Right Round. So Dr. Luke had a
and the thing was, he just kind of looked like a nerdy gamer guy, like maybe someone who'd be like a Discord mod. He wasn't like fugly or anything. Like he wasn't like, you know, the best, but I guess people have built this larger than life image of him, and so like when he got leaked for real, bro, I saw some of the most nasty shit in the world said about him. He beefy and say, listen, most mods aren't like my mods, I'll say that. I mean, most communities aren't like mine, but and like I would honestly show his face, but like, cause there's pictures of it, but like, you know, at the end of the day, it's not even worth it, you know. Even though it's not a big deal and you guys wouldn't roast him, but like, you know, if it made him leave his career behind because of how much people comment on his looks, you know, he probably doesn't want anyone else propagating that, and I don't want to be part of the problem. Amar's are the best.
Record the chorus on top of it. Little did Kesha know her voice.
And listen, he might not look the best, but if you close your eyes, I mean, shit, his voice is good.
This would actually end up in millions of radios across the United States, as her voice would be used on the final version of Flo Rida's smash hit Right Round.
To me, to be totally honest, I kind of walked into that situation accidentally. Like I walked into the studio and Flo Rida just kind of thought I looked crazy and let's put you on a record. And then he just kept it. And he liked it so much. I was actually on another song on his record called Touch Me, which a lot of people don't know. But anyways, so he just kind of, you know, tried to find other people to beat the vocal and nobody else cut it. So he kept mine and I was just kind of like, you know what? Take it, whatever.
See, this was before Kesha had released a single song. She could barely even afford a taco at
like
the time,
his
but
core
there her
fan base,
voice
people
was,
like you,
uncredited
way,
on one of the biggest songs of 2009.
Like he started off kind of like culty, like me, you know, had a core fan base. Like, you know, at the end of the day, you guys are gonna support me and love me, and vice versa, me to you guys. But then once you go mainstream like that, and you get like those normie like followers who are like, you know, like the normie stands that are like gonna criticize. And if you're not the perfect thing they imagined in their head, then they're gonna turn on you. You know what I mean? Like they. Yeah, so,
I don't understand, and I think a lot of people might think, well, what you've made it, you're on a hit record, at least
Flo
you
Rida
made something. How do you have
bangers.
nothing yet you're ubiquitous?
Well,
why the $sign in your name, Kesha?
Okay, that honestly, I was trying to be ironic because let me explain this to you. It's not because I'm like, yeah, I got lots of money, woo. It's more like, I don't have any money, so I'm money because I don't have any. Because this was at a point where I was on the track with Flo Rida, and I was hearing it everywhere while I'm like shopping at the dollar store for canned vegetables.
But you couldn't get away from the song, however, you couldn't afford to have fresh tomatoes.
But Kesha didn't fret. She was flattered to be considered for the song at all, and was just happy that Dr. Luke liked her voice enough to use it, saying, I believe in karma, so if I'm not a bag about that, it'll just come back to me. And Right Round, it would come back, this time tenfold. Now, the grungy, auto-tuned voice on Right Round got the music industry's attention loud and clear. Even though Kesha had one of the most unique singing voices the industry had ever seen, this would be the beginning of Dr. Luke utilizing auto-tune to stylize her voice, often causing controversy over whether or not she even possessed talent. This was the reason Kesha was a complete anomaly. She had the vocal power to deliver songs like Kiss and Tell.
You really should have kept it in your pants. I'm hearing dirty stories from your friends.
With the added production value of Max Martin and Dr. Luke on top.
Because your love is my drug.
Normally, artists who were using autotune at this time actually needed it,
Kesha
but Kesha used it for added effect. This combination
That reminds me of
spun into hit
KFC. What do you mean? Like her looks?
record after hit record.
KFC is like a granola bar stoner hippie.
And after hearing Right Round, the record labels were certain of this. Kesha had her pick of the litter with record deals, though she was still tied to Dr. Luke, and she knew the final decision would ultimately be his. That fateful night on the 12th story of the Mondrian Hotel still rung so clearly in her mind, but Kesha had no choice. According to her mother, PB, Kesha's hand was forced to stay with Dr. Luke. Jason Flom, who is currently at Universal with his label Lava, wanted to sign her as well. And Dr. Luke considered that option because that was the path that Katy Perry was already on. But Dr. Luke ultimately decided on RCA and Barry Weiss, as he had worked with them more previously, and this would ultimately give Dr. Luke more creative control over the projects.
Sorry to interrupt, but this is important. To celebrate her new signing with RCA, Kesha and Dr. Luke went out drinking and partying all night long. The very next morning, they had to catch a flight back to Los Angeles, but were denied boarding by United Airlines due to still being intoxicated from celebrating. Once they were finally allowed onto a plane, Dr. Luke and Kesha immediately started to kiss. Now, Kesha has alleged that this story went a little differently, stating that before heading to the airport, they stopped off at Dr. Luke's New York apartment, where he allegedly ordered her to an unknown substance. And once they boarded the plane, he started to kiss and inappropriately touch her. Kesha stated that
the fucking Hollywood is so goddamn fucked up. Holy shit.
Drunken plane incident is another example of Dr. Luke's misconduct. Now, Dr. Luke did admit that they were intoxicated and kissed on the plane, saying that he doesn't remember who kissed who first, but he denies the claims of the unknown substance.
Under her new publishing deal with RCA, Dr. Luke would finally begin work on Kesha's debut studio album. But not before adding an iconic $sign to her stage name. After changing her name, the rest of 2009 would consist of creating her debut album Animal. Kesha would hit the studio with Neon Hitch and Benny Blanco, producing the booming electropop anthem Blah Blah Blah. Dr. Luke loved this sound more than anything he'd heard Kesha record previously.
Bro, I wish I could have been older during this time period to see and enjoy these things more.
That he didn't actually come up with her quote rap style, but as soon as he heard it on Blah Blah Blah, he thought, oh my god, we need more songs like this. Thus, Dr. Luke and Kesha hit the studio to record a new song called P. Diddy.
Now, wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. You need to tell everybody why you said that.
Okay.
This song aged fucking terribly.
Okay. Well, one morning I woke up kind of feeling like a pimp, because I was I woke up surrounded by a bunch of babes.
Bunch of chicks, yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of like Babe Fest 09.
Right.
In bed. And because I really don't like to sleep alone. So
it's still a vibe.
I woke up in the morning surrounded, some of my friends are models, musicians, and obscenely good looking.
Checks out for Diddy.
And I felt like the luckiest chick in the planet.
I want to wake up in the morning and feel like Kesha.
Yeah, exactly.
The record's, I think it's going really, really well. Today, we're working on a song called, tentatively titled, P. Diddy.
P. Diddy.
Could you do another take without the lollipop remote?
Feeling like P. Diddy.
This song, later titled TikTok,
that song is a
the
banger.
Entire world by storm and introduced the human population to Kesha Rose Seppert. Booming party lyrics like wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy and before I
can't believe we all got lit to this song. And now it's like, oof.
Brush my teeth with a bottle of Jack would take the internet by storm, sending TikTok to the #1 spot on the charts.
It's still a banger though.
The music video would feature Kesha waking up in a bathtub and going to a party. And while researching this video, I actually never noticed, but in the final scene of the video, you can actually see Dr. Luke and Kesha getting way too close on the couch together. Now, Kesha sang about sex in a way that men usually only get away with.
Can girl rock stars, girl pop stars, can they really be sleazy, or is there a double standard?
There's absolutely a double standard. I think that, if I go out and sleep
on my computer, bro. I can't imagine a little vamp listening to this. That's funny.
One person or multiple people. If I were a man, that'd be badass. As a woman, you're called a slut. I really do feel like it's my personal mission. I was put here to kind of level the playing field because I do everything that a rock star does. I just happen to have a really sweet pair of tits.
Oh, shit.
You like it? Awesome. You don't? Change the channel.
Damn. Obsessed with Kesha, yes. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know many other Kesha songs than the most popular ones. That young.
There's something that I have to ask. Mr. Watson, want to get with you.
What the fuck is this song? These lyrics are a little fucking weird. Kesha or this one before.
Thing about boys trying to quote touch her junk and smacking him when he's getting too drunk. Kesha was also the first artist to end Susan Boyle's reign on the international charts, debuting with TikTok at #1. Now, while TikTok raged through every stereo, party, and car radio for the rest of 2009, Kesha would complete her debut album, being rushed due to the rapid success of TikTok. RCA worried that Kesha would lose her momentum, only sell a bunch of singles, and they would have trouble selling an entire album. The label did see the song building, not just with radio play, but at retail and on social networks. RCA Music Group
That's low-key mean. I mean, not taking it around in a bad way, just, you know, showing what's up.
Executive VP at the time, Tom
Melody
Corson, recalls
Martinez?
that she was off doing promo for TikTok around the world, and they got on a call with Dr. Luke and with the management, and they moved stuff around, and they got it done. RCA would even sit down with Apple to develop a plan to turn 2 million
Teacher's
single
pet?
sales
No, I
into
haven't.
album sales. Thus, Complete My Album was born.
Remind
You
me and
could
I'll
already
listen to it
purchase
after this video.
TikTok for $1.29, which if you had an iPod
Isn't
and
that crazy? Like Napster and like iTunes, you get to purchase songs for like 99 cents or $1 or whatever to have them like on your iPod or whatever. That shit used to suck. I'd have to go to the store and get Napster and iTunes gift cards just to fucking use my goddamn iPod. Wouldn't it be me?
You probably already
Father
did.
of the
We
song
get the
and a
rest of her
banger.
debut album Animal at a discount. Pre-order for
crazy.
Animal would go live on December 15th.
I miss
to take
my
advantage
iPod.
of the 3 biggest
Kinda
weeks
nice.
for iTunes of the year. RCA knew what they were doing, and they were going to build a pop
I had an iPod and an iPod
Kesha's
Mini.
debut album
Little tiny
Animal would
one.
be released on January 5th to much fanfare, and it went #1 on the
Yeah, I
Billboard
had an
Hot
MP3
200
player.
at 152,000 sales. It even set a record at the time for the most digital sales of a Billboard #1 at a staggering
You had both fucking
76%.
flags?
What's even more shocking is Kesha's large legion of child fans.
My iPod chat. I even had one of those it's a little circle like this, CD players, and you'd open up and your headphones plug into it. Your headphones on. You close it and it strap onto my waistband.
Much like
Me
Katy
too.
Perry, Kesha was being marketed
You could walk around with a
directly
CD
towards
on you.
children. Her rebellious anti-authority attitude
I still have
resonated with
one. Those were dope, dude. If you think about it.
a lot of kids growing up, and I know because I was one of them. With her bright colors, sparkles,
With me in a
and
bag, I would honestly have like 2 or 3 CDs on use. For some reason made me laugh. Did you have the inside skip one? Fuck no. And radio on it, that's fancy. My shit would skip terribly all the time. I'd have to like walk real smooth, like I'd be like, looks like I'm almost like doing the moonwalk.
attitude, Kesha would attract an army of adolescents.
Yeah, we had a
even
big
having
CD
her
book in my
unreleased
family.
songs.
So my family didn't have the greatest music taste. But I remember my uncle lived with us because my dad was an orphan, so he adopted his brother, and his brother was like my older brother. But he had some Slipknot and Linkin Park and Evanescence stuff that I would like he left or I would like steal or take, and that's how I kind of got my music taste because my parents, for the most part, growing up was like listening to most like religious music, a little bit of country. But I got a few CDs from my uncle, and they were more secular, and I fucked with them.
DUI, and I threw up in Paris.
Like I remember he had a hybrid Siri disc, and I would listen. Like that was the first disc I think I stole from him, and I would listen to Hybrid Theory on repeat. There was no other music discs I want like religious or country.
Play on the Nickelodeon show Victorious.
Went so far.
She would even appear on that same show as a guest star in 2011.
I knew it.
Sing her song about Blow. Now we have an entire video about the dark side of Victorious because there was a lot of darkness on that set, including Dr. Luke. So be sure to check that one out.
Oh,
it was
damn.
clear Kesha's fans were either still in school or the online MySpace scene. No matter how it happened, an army of animals.
That Victorious episode was in 2011. Holy fuck, we're old, chat. That was in 2011. Jesus Christ. why do I remember shit from 2011?
Were born.
That's
and
cool.
Kesha would truly become the dance commander.
I've been doing music since I was like forever because I can't do anything else. Like I tried to be a waitress, I just got fired. It was awful. I can't do anything else. So I decided one day I'm just gonna do it till it works.
CD collection died. It's kind of sad, but at the same time, it's way more convenient. Makes more sense. Like Gwen Stefani. Damn. Our childhood is over, chat. We're officially because listen, bro. In like five years, we're gonna be there's gonna be like so many young people that are gonna be like, you don't know what's like, we're not gonna know what's going on anymore with like the scene and everything. Like, I remember earlier I was watching this video on TikTok or Twitter, and someone was like, oh yeah, blah 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 about Five Direction, and this girl, she was like 16, 17, she's like, Five Direction, who's that? And they're like, you know who Five Direction is? I mean, One Direction, my bad. You know what One Direction is? And then she's like, no. Like, bro, there are kids who don't even know One Direction is now.
It's finally kind of working, so it's really cool. Like I've been sneaking into shows and like backstage and trying to get on stage for the past 15 years, and now I'm actually like, my name's on the bill, so I feel like I'm like psyched on it. You guys are gnarly. Who is the biggest of all y'all, huh?
I do.
Can you want to whip them out for me?
Yeah, here you go.
Let me see. It's like a bucket.
She's crazy. Big side. Banger. Listen, we're always gonna keep it alive. We'll keep them the Y2K 2000s era. Family, the Cole family alive. Always hang out, keep that shit alive together, and enjoy our lives.
Is it all surreal to you? I mean, just coming out of nowhere.
It's crazy. I love it.
Kesha started off 2010 with a song that topped the chart for 9 weeks, with 2 of her massive hits, including the song that was #1 for 2010.
The crazy thing is, like, all these fucked up dudes who like control their career, I feel like are just living through them and then benefiting off of them.
Now there is no competition. Boy, I'm a fucking magician. Now where'd your pants go? Boy, I've been sipping on juice and now I'm stunned on you. You turn around, stick it out and shake that ass. Oh, slow down, you're moving too fast. My fingers keep slipping when I'm trying to grip that ass. I'm trying to grip that ass. I'm trying to grip that ass. My fingers keep
My emo era.
when I'm trying to grip that
Bro, we need more bangers to drop. They haven't dropped a real banger in years. Was that a Barrett 50 cal guitar? That's a Barrett 50 cal guitar. That's fucking badass. Video is still on. What a big head. And he's like, this is a TikTok. Why can't I scroll? It's gone past 15 seconds. It's awesome.
In 2010, a user by the name of DJ Stolen
Remember I
would
just said
not only leak
DJ
numerous Kesha
Stolen?
songs, but he would also leak photos that would ruin her life. DJ Stolen's first target was actually Lady Gaga, who was a new breakthrough artist at the
Wow.
time. He attempted to gain access to her computer through a phishing email, however, he was unsuccessful. DJ Stolen posted his activity on a website called rmx4u.com, where he would eventually
Some
be
people are so
contacted by
creepy
a
as fuck.
22-year-old hacker named C, who was able to eventually gain access to Lady Gaga's computer using Informatic 3. The two hackers would join together and create the website iLeaks, leaking numerous Leona Lewis, Kesha, and Lady Gaga unreleased songs.
Why, bro? Why are people so fucking weird?
One of the leaks was a
Over
Kesha
Gaga.
song titled Styrofoam, and in the lyrics, Kesha would take shots at the Princess of Pop, Britney Spears, saying,
in 10 years. Britney Spears. Britney.
Who?
Popular gossip blogger Perez Hilton would take notice of this lyric and trend the hashtag KeshaWho on Twitter, beginning an entire campaign against her. Britney
Paris
would
Hilton is such a motherfucker, bro.
never respond to this and would even introduce Kesha on the X Factor as
Kesha.
Last night, I thought you had like an identity crisis. I felt like you were trying to be like Kesha or something.
You would think
That's
Britney
crazy. I'm tired of this old gay.
would know her name. After all, Kesha did
Kesha.
write Till the World Ends for Brit and also appeared on the remix of the song with her and Nicki Minaj last year.
Unfortunately for Kesha, Perez Hilton was just getting started
Perez
with
Hilton
his
is
reign
such a
of terror
fucker,
against
bro.
her. The two hackers
Not
from before had
Kesha.
obtained
Miss
very
Kesha.
personal and explicit photos of
T.
her. DJ Stolen would publicly threaten Kesha, saying that if she didn't shout him out, he would leak her explicit photos.
What the fuck? Bro, who is this weird ass old man sitting in his basement? Give me a shout out, Kesha. Or I'm gonna release your private information. Like, dude, what the fuck?
Kesha ignored him, thus the first photo would hit the internet, and it was a very, very, very intimate and private photo. Kesha would plead with him to stop, sending him an email saying, quote, "Hey, I would love to do a shout out for you. How about this? You keep my private pictures private, and I'll give you a shout out, drop, whatever you need for your DJ set. Why don't you hit up my manager? Cool?" But despite Kesha's pleas, even more revealing photos would be leaked of Kesha and her boyfriend at the time, Harold Crescenti. Harold, Kesha's boyfriend, was the manager of the West Hollywood hotspot Winston's, the club that Britney Spears infamously got banned from. It was reported that Britney loved hanging around Winston's because she was smitten with Harold, which may explain Kesha's lyrics aimed at Britney, as Kesha had been dating Harold for roughly 3 years at this point, and he was her first true love. Numerous of Kesha's most iconic songs were about Harold, including Your Love Is My Drug.
I like your beard.
I mean, this is pretty early on, even for us. I mean, we were probably a little too young to be caught up in this kind of like serious adult drama, you know? We were still like on Club Penguin and, you know, shit like that. No Duff. Like, this is like 2008, so, I mean,
and the Harold song. After this, Perez Hilton would leak even more private, explicit photos of Kesha and a man to his blog. It was never confirmed who the man was, as Perez was leaking photos that showed, let's just say, appendages.
bro, Perez Hilton really got away with so much fucked up shit. My drug for real.
Why is he doing this to me again? This is unfair.
Like he's still around and still does like, you know, more like mainstream stuff, but like he did terrible stuff to all these pop stars and posted the most terrible evil shit.
It was like the biggest TV show in the whole country. I don't have a good feeling about it. I don't think I'm ready, and I don't know what to do. I really don't think I'm ready.
Listen, that's why I like just keep the nudies off the internet, keep them off your phone chat, keep all that personal shit in real life. Don't have a picture of your wiener or your butt, your pussy, your tits. Like, you never know who's gonna hack into your phone, hack into your iCloud, hack into your Snapchat. Yeah, keep all that shit unlocked.
I thought the days of Perez Hilton torturing me were finally over. Does he have to do this to me today of all days?
Like, what is popular from? He had a blog where he would post celebrity gossip and drama on it. And then not my eyes only. I mean, they can get into anything, bro.
You can't do this to me. This picture leak is awful, but I can't let it hurt my performance. There will always be haters, but it's how you respond that matters. The worst thing I could do is just let him win.
For real.
Well, you can't.
I know, I'm not going to. This bully has tried for years to ruin me. But as much as he tries to knock me down, I'm just gonna keep on getting up.
The extreme invasion of privacy would seemingly be the—
And like, no one back then was, they're like, oh my god, Kesha's gross, you're nude, so how could you do that? No one was like, why is this grown man like torturing these teenage girls? No one was like, yo, Perez, what the fuck are you doing, bro? You probably shouldn't do that.
Catalyst to the end of Kesha and Harold's 3-year-long relationship. Now, keep in mind that revenge porn laws were not in place like they are today, so the original hacker in Perez didn't receive any real consequences for the disgusting
Full
act
victim
of leaking
blaming.
and sharing intimate photos. Perez Hilton is even quoted saying, "She upsets me. I love Kesha's music, but I don't like her. I hate the stupid $sign in her name. I hate the stupid nose ring. I hate the fact that she looks like she smells and never showers."
Bro, he is such a hateful ass motherfucker.
Kesha was
Fuck.
absolutely crushed over this photo leak and subsequent breakup. Harold was her first true love, so this whole situation was absolutely devastating for her. At the time, she told news publications that Perez, quote,
Bro, they did not care about like emotional and traumatic like trauma back then. They were just like fuck it, we're getting clicks, fuck them, I hate them.
single-handedly ruined the only relationship that's ever meant anything to me.
Damn.
This would lead to Kesha swirling into a deep, dark cloud of depression, but she really didn't have much time to think, as the year 2010 would be the biggest year of Kesha's career, and it started with the release of her debut album, Animal.
The party don't start till I walk in.
Kesha went on a non-stop
It's gonna
press
be
tour
hard,
to
some
promote
hit
her
songs
first
that
album.
follow her
Promotional
about
singles
this
would be
day.
released, and the
Exactly,
hits just
like,
kept
the trauma
rolling
will
in.
never go
her
away.
label would release Take It Off, Your Love Is My Drug, and Blah 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 featuring 303
Blah, blah, blah.
as singles and music videos. Her upbeat sound and auto-tuned hooks called for very high energy, paired with casual music videos
is that Moist
still
Critical?
hold up today. Often
Charlotte?
adorned in grungy and sparkly clothing, Kesha would film her music videos in low-budget locations like clubs, bowling alleys, house parties, back alleys, or the desert. But it worked for her. She felt
went a little like that.
funny, authentic, and committed. Music critics gave the
Bro, my
album
first kiss was
Animal
weird
and
as
its
fuck.
correlating music videos mixed reviews. Songs like Kiss and Tell and Dinosaur seemed to stand out to critics for their subject matter and lyricism. Kiss and Tell being about a fellow unnamed Hollywood starlet stealing Kesha's boyfriend.
I was such a nervous
Dinosaur
little
being about
motherfucker.
an old man with his toupee falling off, hitting on a young
Finish
Kesha.
washing
For
my
better or for
hair.
worse, songs like TikTok,
Pain.
Your Love Is My Drug, and Take It Off
Some
stood
other first. Other first? Wait, what do you mean?
out for their insane genre-breaking production value
I
that
don't
critics
doubt. Girl, I was shy, insecure kid, and I was just, you know, I wanted it to be perfect. I wanted it to be a special moment.
love to hate. She was a force to be reckoned with, and in 2010, whether you were a fan or not, you knew who Kesha
On my
was.
first kiss,
As Kesha was being catapulted into pop
Little Sin
stardom,
hasn't
her
always
mom
been as
PB started
confident
cozying up
as
to
he is
Dr. Luke
nowadays.
to gain opportunities for herself and Kesha's younger brother. Dr. Luke would hook PB
My
up with
first
writing
kiss,
gigs
yeah.
for massive stars such as Miley Cyrus, and would get in touch with one of his good friends, Dan Schneider, to get Kesha's younger brother Louis acting opportunities on hit Nickelodeon TV
Oh,
shows
God.
such as Victorious. Now we do
That's
have an
Kesha's little brother.
entire video on the dark
I
world
don't
of
have
Victorious, so be sure to check that one out. Since she was being promoted so heavily in the digital marketplaces, her social media presence was imperative to her success. She would release short videos on MySpace goofing off, talking to her fans, dancing to her music, or
Sounded
even just
rude
push
as fuck rereading. Bro, I was a shy kid, bro. Yeah, I was just trying to be a gentleman and everything. Just
the
had a
image
brother.
that had been created for her even more.
Oh, every
Kesha.
show, I have people with signs that say, Kesha, take it off. And then I usually respond to them, what exactly would you like me to take off, sir? And then they freak out and start screaming. And I'm like, that's not a piece of clothing.
It was actually around this time that Dr. Luke and Kesha renegotiated her contract to be more beneficial to Kesha, reducing the amount of albums she was obligated to do from
They're not
6
freaks
down
for
to
real.
5. Despite amending the contract, they would still find a way to get that extra album out of Kesha. Due to the sheer amount of material Kesha had recorded for Animal, Dr. Luke began formulating her next release. According to Kesha, at the time she was under the impression this was
Eyebrows,
for her second
no.
studio album. Kesha, at the time,
Listen,
she
I know the 2000s were weird and you could do goofy, silly things, but never do that shit again. Never bring that back. I don't get it. Jeffree Star was at a Kesha music video. No, you know, she did this one time trying to be different, alty, you know, like punky, cute, and then just never again. Just it's a one-time thing.
She was under the impression this was for her second studio album, as Dr. Luke and RCA were trying to keep up her momentum. The recording of Kesha's next release, Cannibal, would be a completely different process than that of Animal. The bulk of Cannibal was actually recorded over the course of just 2 weeks, as Kesha
honestly, I never really realized how long Jeffree Star was around.
This project would be much darker.
The first time Jeffree Star really came on my radar was like the big YouTube drama back in like 2015 with all the makeup artists and Shane Dawson, and then all like the leaks are coming out. That's when like Jeffree Star really came on my radar. So I always thought he was like a YouTube influencer, YouTube celebrity that kind of got into makeup and stuff like that. You know, that's kind of what I
and more explicit
assumed.
Than her previous release.
I mean, I knew he was around for longer, but I didn't know like how big he was back then, and how he's evolved all these other artists. I still love Jeffree, and I learned the same thing about Trisha too. Like I thought Trisha was just like a crazy YouTube girl, and I enjoyed her. And then like I remember I looked more into Trisha Paytas, and I was like, damn, she's been out here for a while, doing shit.
Of Kesha's career, including Sleazy, We Are Who We Are,
like Trisha,
After
like,
submitting what
had
Kesha believed was her second studio album, Cannibal, she was alerted by her label that this would actually only be an EP and would no longer count towards her now 5-album deal.
Really? Yeah.
Only 7 of the new songs would be included on the new project. When Kesha's contract
he
with
made
KCI
music. Yeah, they said it in this video. I was like, what the fuck?
Must have at least 10 songs to be considered.
This is how Nicki Minaj.
This technicality
did his music career just not take off, and that's why he went to being like just like an influencer icon / like makeup person.
Was a major setback for Kesha, as it would keep her stuck in her contract with Dr. Luke and her label for even longer. Kesha was writing.
Does it hold up over time? Like, is it still like a good song, or it's just kind of a moment for you?
Hi. The success of all of her singles were truly the soundtrack of the 2010s. But that success would also cause her to get slapped with a $14 million lawsuit. Kesha's old management team DAS that she had previously fired were now suing her for breach of contract and unpaid commissions. Plus, one of the tracks they helped to develop with the twin Nervo sisters had made it onto her album Animal. DAS Communications also launched a lawsuit against Dr. Luke for 12.
And then he said he took his couple thousand and launched his first. Was broke and it took off luckily.
As they believed he, quote, induced, intimidated, and convinced
That's why I always tell people, like, you never know. It's like it's never too late or too early to start anything. Like some of these people have been around for 20, 30 years in the industry, and they're still doing stuff, making moves, trying new things.
To breach her contract. Now remember back in chapter 2.
Miley signed with Dr. Luke and same management as Britney Spears, everything. How was your day, Alu?
Kesha had told her prior manager David what had happened at the Mondrian Hotel. Well, that awful night would become center stage of this lawsuit, and Kesha would have to relive and be questioned about that night during depositions. Depositions that were sealed but would later be unsealed and would haunt and follow her to this very day.
Good morning, Miss Siebert.
Good morning.
Have you ever had your deposition taken before?
No.
Did you ever have an intimate relationship with Gottwald?
No.
I don't know what my mother told to David. I know that Dr. Luke never made sexual advances at me.
Did Dr. Luke ever give you a roofie?
No.
Were you ever told at any time prior to when you met with David for the first time that Luke had a relationship of any kind with your daughter?
No.
Had anyone told you that Gottwald had slipped Kesha a date?
No.
Were you told at any time prior to meeting at the Chateau Marmont that Luke had given your daughter of any kind?
No.
After this video went up, her attorney actually claiming that Dr. Luke actually contacted Kesha before this deposition.
I mean, probably to save their career, save their contracts. I don't know.
And threatened to destroy her and her family if they did not cover up the sexual assault.
They could have destroyed everything they had.
Das wasn't the only entity to come forward after Kesha's overnight success. A man named Bob Chamberlain would come forward to Star magazine claiming to be Kesha's biological father, saying that Kesha was in his life until she was 19, and that her stating that she, quote, doesn't know who her father is was a lie. Bob Chamberlain told the magazine, quote, must just be rumors to perpetuate her image. He then went on to release photos of himself and Kesha, and even letters he claimed were from her back from when she was a teen. Over the years, Kesha has doubled down that she has no idea who her father is.
So I just want to know what your ethnic background is.
I'm Hungarian.
Okay.
But then I don't know who my father is for sure.
Your mom is Hungarian?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So the other half of me is kind of crapshoot.
What do you mean you don't?
Is that Vinny Guadagnino? What the fuck is he doing here? Oh my god. What up, Caitlin?
I don't know who he is.
Like, he's one of a few dudes, but I don't know for sure who he was. My mom was a hippie, and she wanted a baby, and she wanted a Pisces.
Oh, very nice.
And your mom's.
It's Vinny's mom. It's Paula. What the fuck? Fuck is going on? What is this from?
Open about that. Like, this is, it could be anybody.
And she's the one that always taught me, like, if you want something, go get it.
Although it definitely rings alarm bells back to when she moved in with that mystery man when she first moved back to Los Angeles. But the story of Kesha's father will probably forever remain a mystery. Fast forward to the end of 2010, Cannibal would officially be released. The singles Blow and We Are Who We Are were making waves across the radio, both charting in the top 10.
Now that song debuted #1 in the US and in Europe and is #1 in our ARIA charts here. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And it's also from the album Animal
This
Plus
guy
Cannibal,
witch.
which
Oh,
is like
yeah.
a deluxe repackaged
Love a witchy bitch.
version of Animal. Tell us about that.
Well, it's a nice companion to Animal. It's just a little crazier. And this is the first single off of it, and it comes out this week here.
Very, very exciting.
The song Cannibal would even make a resurgence with the introduction of TikTok and would chart again in 2020.
That's a weird time on TikTok, chat. Like, do people still be doing dances like that, like those simplistic dances in the camera like this anymore?
Resurgence with the introduction of TikTok.
Like, this was like legit content people would watch, like over and over and over and over, and like, oh my god, man, how talented! Follow, like, comment. Like simplistic, stupid ass dances like this. Like, I don't see these anymore, really. I mean, I see some TikTok dances, but usually there's more movement to it, not like this is a TikTok dance. Like, you know, they do like the fucking patty cake baker man shit.
And would chart again in 2020. 2011 would be another huge year for Kesha with her first headlining tour. Dr. Luke and Kesha's label wanted to get her back in the studio to keep up what they had been building for the last 2 years. However, around this time is when she would need to testify in the Das lawsuit and claim that Dr. Luke never gave her substances nor made inappropriate advances towards her. Kesha giving a testimony that she later said she felt pressured into giving for the sake of her career was a major turning point for her. She completely changed course at the peak of her career.
I mean, it's just kind of crazy. It's just like a moment in time. You just had to be there. You know what I mean?
Taking an immediate break from music
COVID was weird.
To focus on her humanitarian efforts. To the unknowing public, this was a very strange and out-of-nowhere move, as up to this point, Kesha had been being pushed so heavily by her record label as the next big thing. But that momentum would begin to slow down. Towards the end of the year, Kesha would need to uphold her contractual obligations, so she began recording her second studio album, Warrior. It was going to be more of a pop EDM record, but Kesha wanted to shift the album in a more rock direction. There appeared to be a power struggle going on between Dr. Luke and Kesha in regards to the direction of the album. There was a lot more going on behind the scenes during the making of Warrior. Kesha was trying to renegotiate her contract. According to her lawyer, she had made Sony $50 million and was asking for $5 million, better royalty terms, and full creative control on at least 6 songs on her albums. Unfortunately for Kesha, her label and Dr. Luke were not interested in making contractual changes. According to reports and court documents, while recording and filming music videos for Warrior, Dr. Luke would allegedly start coming down on her for her image and her weight. Kesha would do juice fasts while working out 2 times a day. She alleged that Dr. Luke would count how many coconut water she would drink, make her work out while
why is this such a common theme? It's so fucked up.
The rest of the crew was eating, and even slapped a fork from her mouth at a restaurant. Dr. Luke's assistant would
for her
reportedly
music. Oh yeah, $5 million to the $50 million that she made. Like, bro, that's not even like. I feel like that's still getting like fucked over.
Worried with Kesha's diet and reported back to Dr. Luke that while on a juice fast, Kesha desired turkey and drank a Diet Coke. Apparently wanting some protein and a diet drink is very, very concerning. The LA Times would report that Dr. Luke sent an
like you would think that she made all this money for you and did all this stuff for you, you at least treat them decently, but like not only do they like abuse them, put them in the most insane contract, like it's like all negative.
Email to Kesha's manager saying, quote, please keep her on a diet. No need to reply further. Thanks. While reviewing footage of an upcoming music video, according to the director, Dr. Luke groaned at the music video and said, quote, she looks like a refrigerator.
Bro, this guy's still in the industry and writes songs for people too. Dr. Luke.
Now, despite what Kesha was dealing with behind the scenes, she had no choice but to push forward with the album. This back and forth would...
There's always more money to be had. Yeah, like, bro, how much money do these people fucking need?
Delayed the album nearly an entire year. And by the time 2012 was coming to a close, Kesha's second album, Warrior, would finally be released to the public. This album did massively different numbers than Cannibal or Animal. Singles like Come On and Die Young would take the world by storm, and the album would peak at number 6. However, Die Young would completely fall off the charts after tragedy struck in 2012 that we can't talk about here on YouTube. Needless to say, the lyrics...
What? In 2012?
Die Young.
Oh. Dropping Die Young, Wake Up School, blank.
Felt immediately inappropriate and would lead to one of the first looks the public saw into Kesha and Dr. Luke's contentious relationship.
Damn,
Kesha would tweet and delete that she was forced to sing the lyrics to Die Young, despite having a major problem with those lyrics herself after the tragedy. Warrior would end up being Dr. Luke and Kesha's final album together. Kesha would go on to desperately hunt for other collaborators, even creating an entire album with the Flaming Lips in 2013, called Lipsha.
People dismiss how good she is. I mean, she really is genuine. I mean, she really, and she can really...
forced into everything. All these artists and pop stars back then, they were like modeled by their agencies, modeled by their parents, created like an imagery, forced to lean into this imagery and do this for this. And you know, these songs were written for half of them. They weren't even made. They didn't even write them themselves. And then forced to be performed.
She sometimes, I think, struggles with the idea that, why can't I just make the music that I want to make? I see a side of her that doesn't want to worry about marketing, and doesn't want to worry about, you know, all the things that go into her being a pop star and just make music. I think her producer will probably allow her to do some weirdo music. I think if we keep trying, I'm sure it'll happen.
However, this record would be canceled a few months after its announcement. Kesha stating that it was out of her control and she wished she could just release the album for free. 1 year later in 2014, Dr. Luke and Kesha would release their final collaboration and song together titled Timber. And the song was telling the truth, as in the next year, it would truly go down.
Damn.
In January 2014, Kesha checked herself into a treatment center that specializes in eating disorders. I was under immense pressure to starve myself, and I tried to and almost killed myself in the process. She left 2 months later and immediately filed her first lawsuit against Luke.
In 2014, Kesha sued Dr. Luke, claiming she was physically and emotionally abused by him for over 10 years.
The renowned music producer accused of pop star Kesha is breaking his silence. Dr. Luke just tweeted, "I didn't Kesha, and I have never had with her."
Dr. Luke has filed a new lawsuit against the TikTok singer's mom.
There are people all over the internet right now tweeting, "Drop Luke to free Kesha."
Lady Gaga tweeted, "I can say truly I am in awe of your bravery." And this from Miley Cyrus. "Kesha, I am so angry for you."
With all these big pop stars speaking out against Dr. Luke, a big pop producer, it definitely says something's wrong with the guy. There's something really wrong here.
Kesha!
It's like unhinged Twitter stuff. Sucks because she said it didn't happen and Corey probably did. Well, you said that she said that Dr. Luke and her production team forced her to do that, to keep the album and everything going and not ruin her career.
Kesha! Free Kesha now! Free Kesha now!
R.I.P. Queen. Reach a settlement. It felt very unsettling. Only God knows what happened that night, as I've always cannot recount everything that happened. I'm looking forward to closing the door on this chapter of my life, beginning a new one. I appreciate Kesha again acknowledging that she cannot recount what happened that night in 2005. I'm absolutely certain that nothing happened. I never drugged or assaulted her, and she would never do that I would never do that to anyone. For the sake of my family, I vigorously fought to claim her name. And for nearly 10 years, it's time for me to put this difficult matter behind me and move on my life. I wish Kesha well. Bro, I hope it works out. Have fun at NC. Turn up for me, bro. Get some barbecue while you're there. Boy Crazy is kind of a bob. She's on tour right now? Damn. And Salt Lake. Bro, Turk is Mr. Worldwide.
Hands together for Kesha!
Fuck P. Diddy for real.